So, why is it a good thing for teachers to also be students? Hi, I'm a music teacher, and this is my life. Welcome back to my channel, everyone, and welcome for those of you who might be new. In this video, I'm going to be talking about some of the reasons why I think that as a music teacher, it is a great thing to also be a student. So in my case, I lead a children's choir at my church, and I'm also a church musician who is in an ensemble that is led by our music director. So almost every week for rehearsals, I put on my music teacher hat when I'm leading the junior choir through rehearsals and select performances. And then I put on my musician hat when I am in the band that accompanies the senior choir and helps with weekly Sunday worship, as well as being in those rehearsals. I have also had the great opportunity to be led by a wonderful music teacher who is now retired, but he would often talk about why he liked being both a music teacher and a community band member. And so that's why I will be sharing with you the things that I've learned over the years, both through personal experience and things that I've learned from him. But before we jump into the video, make sure that you like this video, subscribe for more content, make sure you ring the notification bell to stay up to date on all of the upcoming videos. And let's jump in to reason number one, which is that it puts me in a similar perspective as my students, meaning I need to be clear with my instructions and consistent with my rehearsal routines. This is really important, especially as someone who, number one, teaches young kids, but also if I teach anyone who benefits from having very clear routines, which is pretty much anyone, that can be very helpful. This is also important because my rehearsals are exactly an hour, so I need to make the most out of that hour that I possibly can, and they're only once a week rehearsals. Reason number two is that by being a student in other rehearsals, it gives me great ideas, whether it's a warm-up that I like of theirs, or if it's the way that they structure their lesson, the way that they teach something new. I'm able to pick and choose what I really like about the way that things are done and see if I can implement those into my rehearsals as well. Reason number three is that it forces me to do a lot of self-examination. So to give you a little bit more information about me, I recently took over the junior choir director role at my church after the previous director who ran it for 30 years. She was an elementary school teacher in her career, and she taught in the same publicly funded school board that I now work in. And I have to say that her attention to detail was impeccable. She saw things that she knew would be beneficial for young learners and implemented them into the rehearsal. Things like having a folder with the singer's name on it that is a specific color and reusing it every year. And of course, having a folder with their name on it is good, but it's those little things like, oh, if I know that this person has their name on a green folder, then every time that person comes to rehearsal, they are looking for the green folders, and then they're going to look for their names. So it's a little bit faster when it comes time for them to sit down and get ready for rehearsal. So the little things like that makes a lot more sense for younger learners, but those are things that I don't think of doing in my day job as a high school teacher, simply because I teach students who are much older and a little bit more independent. So having great examples like her in my life has been wonderful, and I've been able to keep up those routines because, again, they are great for the singers who have been in the choir for a number of years and are already used to that routine. Reason number four is that it allows me to feel like I'm progressing and improving every week. When I am a student, I feel a lot safer when it comes to making mistakes. I know that not everyone may feel this way, but sometimes as the teacher, I tend to put some pressure on myself of making sure that my plan goes as close to what I had planned as possible. And the reality is that most of the time, when you're running a rehearsal or leading a class, things aren't always going to go perfectly. We are going to have to adjust. We're going to have to make on-the-spot decisions, problem solving as needed. And so it's nice to be a student and feel like if I make a small mistake in a rehearsal, it's not going to make or break because, of course, come time for the performance, I will have improved. Reason number five is simply that it keeps music as being something fun. I think as teachers, sometimes we get really caught up in the planning and delivering of instructions and feedback, implementing the rehearsal plans that we've worked really hard to put together. and it feels like a lot of work, sometimes pressure. And it makes sense for it to feel like work because it is. It is our job. But by being a musician in an ensemble, it allows me to almost shut off my work mode or my work brain and just be a musician and just to be able to make music for fun. If I had no creative outlet to perform or express myself as a musician, that would almost definitely have a negative impact on me. And I think that it's great that there is a place where I can express myself through music in a performative way. And then I can also express who I am as a music teacher outside of the school context. And reason number 6 is that it makes me appreciate the music teachers who made their job look so easy when it wasn't. And there are days where I feel like I'm having to answer a million questions, problem solve, and adjust my plans based on how my classes are going, based on who shows up to rehearsal that day. And yet, every experienced teacher that I've had made their jobs look so easy. And so in one way, it makes me feel great to have had some wonderful examples in my life. And in another way, as someone who's new in this junior choir director role, for example, it gives me a lot of reassurance that it's okay that my rehearsals don't go perfectly every week as someone who's new. It's reassuring for me to look at someone who's such a seasoned and experienced teacher and to be able to self-reflect and realize that, you know what, it's okay if my rehearsals don't go perfectly because I'm doing the best that I can in that moment. And also, I'm still a young teacher. There's still lots to learn, but I'm doing the best that I can with the information and the resources and the strategies that I have available to me at the time. And so those are my 6 reasons as to why I think it's great as a musician to also be a student. Thank you so much for joining me today. Again, remember to like and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you ring that notification bell to stay up to date on all of the upcoming new videos. And I'll see you again next week. Bye.